Hey, it's Kyle again, back to talk about the next chapter of Non-Things by Byung-chul Han. Chapter 4 is called Selfies. All right, so the last video I did of chapter 3 was way too long. It was 20 minutes, and I'm going to try to come to my senses and respect all of our time more and speed it up. Speed it up for this one. Anything time consuming is on the way out, as Han says. The last episode does have some good parts, though, so if you're the diehard Non-Things fans, go ahead and check that out. But this one is going to be, we'll try to get through this more quickly. Okay, so chapter 4 is called Selfies, and he's going to talk a lot about analog photography versus digital photography as kind of a metaphor, in my opinion. So he starts off by saying an analog photo is a thing. We take great care to keep it safe, as we do with all things close to our heart. Because of its material nature, it is fragile and exposed to the process of aging and material decay. It is born and it dies. Attacked by light, by humidity, it fades, weakens, vanishes. What else does that sound like? It sounds like a person. A photo is a fragile thing, destined to die, but at the same time, photography is a medium of resurrection. This is the first chapter that I found myself having probably the most disagreements with Han that I've had so far in any of them, or things that I would question him about or press him on. Photography is an interest of mine as an amateur. Digital photography. I've taken one black and white film photography when I was in college, and I did experience what it's like to, develop photos in a dark room and take photos on film, and how it's a very different experience than doing digital photography. About photography, he says, it is the angel of recollection and redemption. It lifts us above the fragility of life. So he seems to be in favor of photos, of lasting photos that preserve people and images and create narratives and long-lasting relationships with the subject of the photo. For Han, digital photography is not based on a singular, unique, irrevocable encounter with the object. The possibilities of digital post-processing weaken the encounter with the referent. They make it impossible to abandon oneself to reality. And when you take a photo on, even on your iPhone, you can change, there's all these things you can change on it. You can change the contrast, the brightness. Now you can delete objects, you can delete people, you can change the background. The light is changing a lot outside, so it's gonna, but I'll just let that be. We'll surrender ourselves to the reality of the light together. So continuing along that same thing, he says, artificial intelligence generates a new, expanded reality that does not exist. A hyper reality that no longer corresponds to reality, to a real referent. Digital photography is hyper real. The selfie is characterized by digital cheerfulness. And so why does an iPhone photo look like it does? And why does it look like every other iPhone photo? Well, because they have the same technical standards that are going for a certain goal, which is to make the image bright, make everything visible, everything in focus, everything colorful. It's hard to get shadows. It's hard to get contrast. It just wants everything to be visible, happy, everything good to go, everything looking good, no problems, everyone looks great. For a phone photo, the content is the only thing that matters, the information, the subject, the surface. Selfies are visual communications, pieces of information. He thinks that taking a selfie is not like just taking a photograph, it's inherently a communication act. Selfies must be exposed to the view of others, must be shared, or else they don't exist, or else why even take it? It's not just for yourself. How often do you take a selfie and then look back at it? It's for other people. It's only to share. Yeah, so he says selfies are not made to be kept. They are not a medium of recollection. We don't print out selfies or care about them after they've been taken. We don't revisit them really. They're relevant only to the moment, almost like the day that they're taken. It's like you take a selfie that day to communicate something to someone, to show it to, a friend, or to post it online, and that's it. He says that selfies are characterized by playfulness. Haha, the digital communication generally has something playful about it. Communication becomes a playground. This is a part that I think is maybe one of the most interesting of the chapter to me. He says that selfies are messages. They're overexpressive. They're cartoonish. Extreme postures, extreme expressions are common. So, like sticking out your tongue. We film ourselves in a exaggerated way that we don't normally behave. You don't normally look like that. Extremes grab attention in the moment. Extremes grab attention on a little tiny screen and a little thumbnail. Think about why a lot of YouTubers, like the thumbnails on YouTube, it's a big cartoonish face, bleh. But really, like our emotions and our face is reduced to like a cartoon strip or like a cliche. Like the subject's faces become masks. We kind of become like actors, and very poor actors, when we're trying to appear a certain way in a selfie. It's almost like there's like 5 emotions to choose from. Like, I'm sad, I'm happy. Oh, this food is so good. Oh, look how goofy we are with our friend. Like, there's these stock things, that you end up. You can almost like take a blank photo of yourself and then just with AI apply the emotion that you want later to it. Oh, make me look happy, or make me look like I'm a serious intellectual or something. And I think when we photograph ourselves with a phone, you can't really be the photographer or the subject. You're kind of being both at once. So you're not able to really objectively view the thing you're photographing, because it's yourself and you're all self-conscious about it, and you're doing it. You're like operating the phone. And as a subject, you're not able to be natural. You're not able to be comfortable. You're not able to be serious, because you're seeing you're self-conscious. You're being photographed at the same time. So it's like this, like, to me, it's like it's an interesting thing. It's not surprising that selfies lapse into cliche, to being shallow, to being not artistic, stuff like that. And you might say, well, what's the problem with taking selfies? There's still, you could, if you want to buy a film camera and go shoot analog film, you can still do that. Selfies just serve a different purpose. Yeah, sure. Is it that bad, Han? Is Han saying like we need to get rid of selfies? I don't think so. I think it's just the title of the book, non-things. He's just making the point that we are moving towards non-things and away from things. It's just a metaphor for the fact. Okay, and here's how I would boil down the metaphor. Film photographs are a thing. They're a physical object. They can be destroyed. They can be torn up. You can lose them. They're precious to us because they can be lost, because they are lifelike. They decay. A photograph won't last forever. A digital photo can be copied, duplicated, as long as we have electricity and computers on Earth, and you have a hard drive to store it on. A digital photo would last forever, and it could change into an infinite amount of other things. You can change the color. With AI, you can manipulate what's in the photo. It's not precious to us like something that can go away and die, like a flower. Why are real flowers that only last a week and die and go away more beautiful and precious to us than fake plastic flowers that last forever, even if they look almost exactly the same? With tongue stretched out and one eye closed, each of us looks the same. Essentially, he thinks that selfies are going to show a different kind of human. A human who is devoted to playfulness, the moment, communication, information, stock expressions, shock factor. When we see ourselves in the phone and get ready to take a picture of ourselves, a mask comes over our face. We put on a mask of how we want to appear. All right, and the next chapter should be a very good one: artificial intelligence.